Hello to you. I am ASMR Vito, and today we're going to do a new video talking about autism. Because I know there are a lot of people who appreciated the last time, a few months ago, when I did that video, and I believe there were a few who wanted me to do another one, so I'm going to do that today. So this video is going to be about being different and about autism and stuff like that. So before we begin, it is probably wise for me to say that I myself am diagnosed with mild autism, what some people have called for Asperger's, but I'm going to use the term mild autism today. So I am diagnosed with mild autism, and well, first of all, it's probably wise to tell you, if you don't know, what autism is. Autism can manifest differently in various individuals, but at the most extreme, it can cause you to be not really be able to socialize with anyone, struggle with practical stuff, any kind of practical stuff really. And the most extreme cases of autism are often people who are unable to communicate with the outside world, but that's the extreme cases. On the milder spectrum, autism can cause challenges with gaining new friends, entering new romantic relationships, and also can cause some anxiety, both in social stuff and in other stuff, and some problems with practical stuff, and these can be things like tying your shoelaces, cooking, and any stuff like that really. Yeah, it can vary from individual to individual. But autism also has a few positive sides. Autism often in many individuals manifests as those individuals can often have an obsession with particular interests or hobbies, and while it varies from person to person, for some this can be like 3 or 4 hobbies which we are super interested in, and we know a lot about those particular fields they are interested in. And it can also, it can cause heightened intelligence. Some autists are very, very intelligent and very, very smart. Now, I'm also going to get a common misconception about autism out of the way. There's a myth, and it's a myth, but it's a myth from the old days, that people with autism don't have emotions. I can confirm that is a myth. A lot of people with autism do have emotions and can feel and have empathy. So I'm just going to get that myth out of the way immediately, because it's not true. Anyway, I am an individual with a lot of empathy and emotion inside me, which I'm sure many of the people who follow me probably already know. So in my case, it has manifested in the way that I can struggle with social stuff, but if I feel comfortable with an individual, like with family and stuff like that, I can be very social and talkative. I can talk a lot, like I do now on video. And the reason I can talk a lot on these videos is because I feel comfortable with it. And I do struggle with some practical stuff. I can tie my own shoelaces and basic stuff. I can take walks outside and, and clean my room and stuff like that. It's not that. But the practical stuff I struggle with is I can't cook. But then again, to be fair, I'm not the only guy in the world who can't cook. And there are a few other of the more advanced practical stuff I struggle with. I'm not really that much of a practical person at all. Of course, you can be an individual without autism and still struggle with practical stuff, of course, but anyway. So, and in my life, although I've had great relations to my family, especially my father and sister, who I talk a lot with, I have struggled to make new friends and new contacts in my life. Especially people who are about the same age as me. And this is another trait for people with autism. A lot of people with autism often struggle connect to people who are very young, essentially. When people with autism are teens, they don't usually connect that well with other teenagers. And they instead sort of form deeper bonds with people who are older than themselves, who they feel more comfortable with and can talk more openly with. Essentially, a lot of people with autism tend to have a preference to talk to people with more life experience, And for me, that was probably the case, and a lot of that is because a lot of people my age were interested in stuff like cars and, and all the superficial stuff in society, which I wasn't that interested in. I was more interested in politics, the world, society, stuff like that. So, and apparently when I was young, I just didn't meet the right people. I didn't meet the other nerdy people who perhaps had similar preferences and interests as me. So, yeah. I believe there are absolutely other young people in the world I could have been great friends with, but alas, I did not meet them. No. Anyway, so, but I am not the only person with autism who has experienced that. And another thing for people with autism is that they can struggle with eye contact, with direct eye contact. Looking people in the eye are uncomfortable for a lot of us people with autism. I think it's uncomfortable to look people directly in the eye. You can probably see when I'm doing videos, I'm not always looking directly into the camera. I do this sometimes on purpose because it reflects who I am. I am an individual with autism and I want to be myself when I film these videos. So I try to sometimes look into the camera like I'm doing right now, but sometimes I'm like looking more away from the camera like I'm doing right now. And I know there are a few people with autism who follow my channel and who find that method more comfortable, because to them having a person look at them like this all the time can be very, very uncomfortable. So when it can be sort of more comfortable for them, then I just look away slightly. Anyway, so for people with autism, there can be many challenges in life, many struggles to overcome, but it is possible to overcome them. I've overcome quite a few share of them myself, with support and help of other people, of course. So if you have family and friends who support you and you have autism, or you are different in any other way, then having some people who support you, be it family or friends, can be super helpful. But if not, you can always support yourself too, and take small steps, one step at a time, whether you have autism or struggle with something entirely different. For example, if you struggle with taking longer walks outside, maybe you have anxiety for walking outside, then take one step at a time. I did a few years ago. Now I am not afraid of walking outside anymore. I can take long walks outside, enjoy the sunshine, the outskirts of the woods, etc. But take one step at a time. I did. Just begin by going outside the door, then advance to further down the street, then maybe go a little further and take it one step at a time. Don't overwhelm yourself. I know that for many people with autism, taking gradual steps can be wise. That builds up courage and helps you overcome the various barriers. And eventually maybe you'll also overcome your fear. A few years ago I also challenged myself and took a sort of school course for adults where you get characters. It's a sort of system in Norway where you can attend sort of high school level of stuff for adults. You have to be at least 23 years old to do this. But I did, and that went well. I got good grades, good to great grades. I got in social sciences, I got like a 5 or 5 plus, and that is a great grade in Norway. And I got top grade in history, a 6, and that is the top grade in Norway. But for you people who aren't used to the Norwegian grading system, in Norway we use 1 to 6 as the grading system, and 1 is the lowest you can get and 6 is the highest. So yeah, and we also use things like 1 plus, 2 minus, 2 plus, you know. So yeah, you know. So I think like 5 plus is the third highest score, 6 minus is the next to highest score, and then a 6 is the highest. And I got like a 6 in history, probably because I am so interested in history and love history. So getting a top grade was kind of fun. I did not form new friendships or bonds in the class, I'm afraid, but I was able to communicate with my fellow students during projects at the very least. So at least I crossed that barrier, yay. And now I've crossed another barrier because now I'm doing YouTube, and that's probably very that was once upon a time very uncomfortable for me to even like consider, you know, to put yourself out on social media and YouTube. But also because I was sure that I was pretty sure that was never going to go like anywhere. I did not imagine all the positive response I would get and the support. So but I defied myself and my barriers, and I did it, and I put myself out on YouTube, and I don't regret that for one day. I'm so happy I did it. So the reason I'm telling you guys this is because if you have barriers or struggles in your life, it's possible to overcome them. It can take patience, it can take years, but it is possible. And hopefully you will find people who understand and accept you for who you are. And remember, it's important to be yourself. Be yourself. And find persons who respect and accept you for who you are. That's important. So yeah, I hope this video was just helpful to some of you guys out there. That it helped you, but maybe some of you could identify yourself with this, with the challenges that a person with autism go through. And remember, never give up hope, no matter what. I haven't given up hope of entering a relationship one day, or of finding new friends. I believe that's fully possible, and I'm still so grateful for all the support I've gotten on my channel. And I'm a very enthusiastic individual, and I think a lot of people with autism are that. Actually, I think a lot of people with both ADHD and autism are, in each their own right, enthusiastic individuals. Well, so remember, inspire, use your enthusiasm, and challenge yourself, but do it gradually. Don't like go too far, because if you don't take it gradually, you could end up scaring yourself instead. So take it gradually, one step at a time. Have patience, and let the months and years work. You don't need to overcome all your challenges in one day, in 1 week. You don't have to. You can use years and have patience. You are ready when you're ready. Wish you the best, and thank you so much for watching and listening, and have a great day and a great week and a great life. Wish you all the best.